Welcome back to my next Clash Royale video, guys. Finally, I'm back. I didn't have too much time to play lately, and what do you do when you don't have much time to play? You get lazy too. So today, it's gonna be a bit of a lazy deck. A bit of a scumbag deck, to be honest, and let's take a look at it. It's a spawner deck with the Royal Giant in there. I've been kind of playing this a little bit. Contrary to my usual styles, and let's go ahead and hop into the first battle and see how I can do. So starting off inside the Royal Arena, we are gonna be rushed by the Hawk Rider and Goblins here right away, and I'm gonna throw down my Mini P.E.K.K.A. and minions to try and counter that. He uses his Zap and gets off some pretty nice damage actually here early on, and I'm trying to push him right back, backing up my Mini P.E.K.K.A. with the Spear Goblins. And the Mini P.E.K.K.A. gets in a hit, which is pretty big since it does so much damage. And yeah, it looks like we are just gonna reset now. I'm gonna put down my Goblin hut. Notice that I didn't have full elixir, so I definitely didn't want to use the Barb hut, because that's obviously even more expensive, and this way I can still have some elixir to maybe counter if he tries to rush me right away. Hawk Rider is gonna be countered by the Barbarians. He actually plays a so-so Fireball, tries to Fireball down my Goblin hut, which is I guess okay, but he should have used it on the Barbarians right here. And now notice the counter push going down with Royal Giant, Barbarians, Minions, and also some Goblins. He doesn't really have anything to answer, and that's gonna be the first tower right away. I feel like the Royal Giant is really strong with this deck if you play it right. You can switch up the lanes, you can use it with the troops that are spawned, and overall a pretty strong combo if you can use it right, which I haven't really gotten the hang of doing just yet, but we're gonna try some more here in a few more battles. And actually this is a pretty quick 3 crown, since he doesn't have any real response to the Royal Giant and spawner combo. Alright, so hopping into our next battle, we are gonna be facing off against Simone, and it looks like he's also gonna start with the Hawk Rider, this time down the right lane. I'm gonna counter it with my Barbarians, and the Hawk Rider only gets 1 hit in, so not too bad right here. Deciding on what I want to play next, I am choosing to actually switch it up on him and go down with the Spear Goblins and Mini P.E.K.K.A. down the left lane, so he can probably only defend one side, and the Barbarians actually get through on the right lane here, which is really bad for him. Never ignore Barbarians, guys. You see how much damage they are doing. The first tower is already almost down. Won't take too much more to get it right here. I can obviously use a Royal Giant, because he's almost always guaranteed to get 1 or 2 hits in if you can place him right in front of the bridge, because even with Barbarians or with the Mini P.E.K.K.A. it still gets I think 2 shots off depending on the card levels. So this tower is down, the minion horde is gonna get fireballed down here with very good fireball, and yeah, looks like we've taken a pretty early lead here. And guys, if you ever played a spawner deck, you will know that it's pretty tough to make a comeback against a spawner deck if your opponent doesn't make a mistake. So we're definitely looking pretty strong right here. So he's gonna attack my right lane with the Hawk Rider and Barbarians, and actually get a pretty nice amount of damage off right here. I didn't have a really good answer prepared, and it's actually pretty bad to take this much damage when you have taken such a big lead, but I just didn't focus to the right lane enough. Continuing this battle, I am deciding to keep him employed down the left lane a little bit, although I probably should have placed the Barbarian hut towards the right, so it would defend my right tower, since he's obviously only gonna try and get that down. And my only goal for the last 60 seconds here must be to defend the right lane. But I am also giving him something to think about, pushing the left lane with the Royal Giant again, which he obviously didn't have a very good counter for earlier on. Fireball didn't get the best value right here, only a few minions left, but at least those went down. And the Ice Wizard obviously is very strong against spawner decks, so definitely a pain for me right there. The Hawk Rider goes down solitarily this time though, so it can't really do any damage, and at this point it's gonna be really tough for him to get the last tower down, because I am now playing all my defense on the right side, obviously with Barbarian Hut down, which has so many hit points, and it's gonna be close to impossible for him to reach the tower. Barbarians also, and this is over. So a 1-0 crown victory. This is pretty much the kind of victories you can get pretty lazily playing this deck. So if you ever look into just grind out a few chests to open up, you can definitely use this deck for that purpose. Alright, so hopping into the next battle. This one is actually going to be pretty crazy, but let's see how we're going to start this one off. I am starting off with the Goblin Hut actually, and he starts with the Elixir Pump. So I decided to push him a little bit and see what answers he has prepared for this. And as you can see, he is going to use his Barbarians right here. And even though those do obviously a huge amount of damage, the Royal Giant still gets some nice hits in, so very strong card still, the Royal Giant. And looks like he has actually a pretty nice push going with Barbarians and Balloon right here. And since his Balloon is decently upgraded, it's actually gonna get 2 shots on, which is quite annoying right here. You are not supposed to take 2 shots from a Balloon. That's pretty bad right here. But once again, I'm able to switch it up on him, and the Barbarians are going down the left lane, getting some really nice damage right here. So at this point I'm thinking I'm looking pretty good, because it's definitely possible for me to take 2 towers down here, and he only has damaged 1 of my towers. Minion Horde also is gonna get fireball down, so not looking too bad right here. But he's obviously pumping up on me. That's definitely something to be concerned about, since I don't have any elixir collector. And at this point I'm just deciding to shoot down the left tower with the Royal Giant right here. Notice, although it gets countered almost immediately by the Barbarians, it gets 3 shots in, so yeah, still maybe a bit too tanky, that card. But his Hawk Rider gets my right tower down. I actually decided not to defend this because the tower was so low already anyways. I knew I was gonna lose it, and I'm also deciding to take some damage on the King Tower right here, which is not too bad usually. But let's see how this battle develops. The Balloon going down is actually very good to take down the Barbarian Hut, and obviously he also has the free spell, so the Balloon is going to reach my King Tower. Notice I don't have anything to reply right here, so this is maybe a weakness of this deck. It's a little bit weak against air, or I should say pretty weak against air attackers, so definitely be on the lookout for that. You may want to switch up something in this deck to be able to defend against air troops a little bit better. And let's see how this one develops, because it's gonna get pretty crazy in the end right here. Notice I am pushing his tower with the Royal Giant. I have it almost down. I'm thinking I'm looking pretty good right here, but his Balloon is just so clutch in this moment, and actually he gets the 3 crowns up. So this deck is definitely also, it's pretty strong, but it's also dangerous. You might want to switch it up to get some more air defense. And yeah, but overall it's playable. As I said, it's not quite my style, as it's pretty defensive and not so aggressive, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If this suits your style, definitely give it a try. Leave me a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, I will see you guys later.